If we can start with the MUN presentation, it would be amazing. I see Tamara. Thank you for coming. First of all, can you introduce yourself? Who you are? Why do you make this presentation? What's your motivation in MUN and things like that?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you, Mira, for inviting me. I'm really excited that I can talk about MUN to you, because MUN is like a huge part of my life. I have been doing MUN for over a year now, and I think it really helped me discover myself. This sounds cheesy, but it's true. And also it taught me a lot of important life skills, which I am going to talk about in the presentation as well. So yes, I'm just here because I love MUN, and I hope that I can make you guys interested in it.
Sure you will. I'm still excited already.
Sorry?
So I'm already excited about it. Can you share your presentation?
Yes, sure. Just a second. I'm sharing my screen. Hello again. My name is Tamara Lehoczky. I'm a 16 years old high school student from Hungary, and I have been doing MUN for over a year now, pretty intensely. And I'm just really glad that I can be here and introduce this amazing activity to you. And if you have any questions during the presentation, please don't hesitate to ask them, because I will be happy to answer to anything. And now, with this being said, let's jump into it. So welcome to MUN. MUN is short for MODA United Nations. Now, in order to understand MODA United Nations, one needs to have some basic knowledge about the United Nations, since MUN is basically about modeling the structure and the mechanisms of the real UN. So it's like an academic simulation of the work of the real UN. So what the real United Nations is. The United Nations is an incredibly complex intergovernmental organization which was established in 1945 after the Second World War, and its aim is to prevent another world war and wars in general. The UN's main goals are to prevent conflicts between and within states, foster economic, political, and social development, promote human rights, and vanish economic differences between states. It is facilitating cooperation in international law, tries to protect international security, and aims for economic development, social progress, and the achievement of world peace in general. In order to fulfill its roles, the UN structure was created, meaning that the UN consists of many different subsidiary organs, which are called UN bodies. There are 5+1 main UN bodies, which I can show you in this graph. So like 5+1 main bodies and many smaller organs within the UN. This includes the UN Security Council, which is like the most important part of the UN, if I can say this, because it is the only body within the UN which can make binding decisions. So like this is the only part of the UN which can pass acts that are binding. So neither of the other parts of the UN can make binding decisions. They only make recommendations, which countries either follow, but they mostly do not. But the Security Council is binding. It consists of 5 permanent member states who have the power of veto. These are China, Russia, France, the US, and the UK. And there are also 10 non-permanent members who are elected for 2-year terms by the General Assembly. Also, the Security Council authorizes the peacekeeping forces. So this is the part of the UN which can decide about for example, launching a peacekeeping mission at a country which, for example, is under war or something like that. So the General Assembly is like the biggest organ within the UN because it consists of all the member states. There are 193 members of the UN, plus there are 2 observer states, which are, by the way, Palestine and the Holy See. And the General Assembly is the most comprehensive part of the UN. Also, there are the Economic and Social Council, the International Court of Justice, and the Trusteeship Council, which is currently inactive. And there is the Secretariat, which is like kind of they do the administrative part of the work, so they are holding the whole thing together. And the Secretariat is led by the Secretary General, who is like the face of the whole organization. This position is currently fulfilled by Mr. Antonio Guterres, and they do like they implement what the United Nations bodies have come up with. So besides the main organizations or the main parts, there are a lot of smaller agencies, which I am sure you have heard about many of them. So like, for example, there is UNESCO, which is the educational and cultural organization of the UN. And also there is like UNICEF, which is the children's foundation within the UN. So these are like the more popular ones, but there is WHO, the World Health Organization, and UNDP, which is the United Nations Development Program. So I'm just saying that there are many agencies and smaller parts within the UN who are specialized for one type of work. And again, this is incredibly complex. This is really just the basics about the UN. So due to time constraints, I cannot elaborate on this more. But during MUN, you are trying to model this system. So it seems really complex, but actually it's easier in real life. So during MUN, every individual represents a country. You pretend that you are a delegate, a highly ranked diplomat from a given country, and it is important that you usually don't represent the country where you are originally from. So your original nationality doesn't matter in MUN. And furthermore, as a delegate, you often have to ignore your personal opinion, political views, or affiliations, because it is very likely that during your MUN career as a delegate, sometimes you will have to represent countries that you don't necessarily agree with. In this case, you must like suppress your personal views and keep negotiating for the interests of your country's government, no matter whether you agree with their policies or not. Actually, so they say that during MUN you represent a country, but I think that it is more accurate to say that during MUN you represent the government of a country, which is almost the same, but not quite. So the government of a given country is what really matters in MUN. So by representing, I mean that as a delegate, you get a country, what I just talked about, a topic, and a committee. Committees are referring to UN bodies, which I just discussed. This can be the Security Council, committees of the General Assembly, so like DISAC, which is the Defense Committee of the UN, but also the Human Rights Council or the World Health Organization. So like there are many more possibilities. Pretty much any UN body can become a committee during an MUN conference. And just to give you an example, let's imagine that I am representing Japan in the WHO. In that case, I have to represent the Japanese government's interests meaning that I try to convince delegates and make decisions that favor the interests of Japan, or that are at least they are in line with the policy of the Japanese government. Another example is, for example, I am representing a huge oil exporter country. So like, for example, I represent Iran. And then if I am Iran, I need to push for deals and agreements between other countries that are not trying to like eliminate fossil fuels from the economy, because obviously that would harm Iran's economy and Iran's interests. And therefore, I need to push for deals that would keep oil a crucial part of our economy. So what I'm trying to illustrate is that in MUN, everything is about the country. Everything depends on the country you get. So no matter your personal opinion, you only have to take into consideration the policy of the government you represent, and you cannot go against that policy. You have to pretend that you are representing that government and that you agree with them. Just like in the real UN, delegates always have conflicts of interests and disagreements, which in MUN they try to resolve by negotiation and moderated debate. So moderated debate is very formal. It is like, it's similar to how politicians debate within the parliament, for example. It has many rules, which I am not going to talk about here because it's incredibly complex, and I don't think that anyone would be interested in that in this early stage. But delegates always have conflicts in MUN, and they try to resolve this by negotiation and debate. If you get your country and your topic and your committee, then you will get so if you get your country and committee, then you will get a topic as well. And returning to my previous example, I can represent Japan in the World Health Organization and debate the topic of, for example, unequal vaccine distribution in the world. The topic is always specific to each committee. So, for example, if you are in UN Women, which is like the women's rights related organ of the UN, then you will always get a topic which is connected to women's rights, or like abuse against women or something like that. So you will not debate about peacekeeping forces, because that falls under the authority of the Security Council. So the topic is also dependent on the committee. When you get your country, topic and committee, you need to conduct your research. And now I would like to talk about how an MUN conference looks like, because the whole aim of MUN, or at least most people who are doing MUN, is to go to conferences where you can use all the practice that you have done in MUN. So how does a conference look like? Firstly, you get a country assigned. This I just talked about, and then you do your research. This means that you have to be up to date about the topic, its ramifications, key actors within a conflict, and stuff like that. So you have to be really familiar with the topic you are debating, and also you must know everything, or almost everything about your country. I remember that for my first conference, I got Russia, and I was so excited. I was researching for like 3 months straight. So it really takes effort to really get to know your country and be an authentic delegate of the country you got. So most people who do MUN generally prepare for conferences. Conferences last usually a couple days long. Students get together from all over the world, each representing a different country, and you will only debate with delegates who are in the same committee as you are. The aim of the committee during a conference is always to solve an issue. For example, if I'm in the Human Rights Council and my topic is protecting the human rights of civilians in armed conflict, then my goal is to somehow solve this issue, to protect the rights of civilians. So you got your committee, you got your country assigned, you did your research, then you write a position and working paper, which sounds weird, but in reality, it just means that you have to write down what your country's policy is on the topic. So like what your country's government stance is on the issue. And then you have to elaborate how would you solve that problem. And during the conferences, you have to give speeches, you have to convince the others, you have to lobby and make alliances and cooperate with other delegates in order to solve the issue. And then you can create resolutions, which are official documents that propose certain actions in order to achieve a certain goal. So these are basically action plans about how would your country and how would you solve a given problem. And when you put this together, then you can debate it with the others and then vote on it. And if it passes, then it means that your committee has accepted this resolution and that the ideas and the solutions that were included in it are being implemented, and hopefully you solved the problem. So this is like this is where the whole conference culminates, when you finally pass the resolution and you finally get closer to the solution. Yes, and actually, so like conferences are a lot of fun. You get to know many people, which is one of the biggest benefits of MUN. So I would like to talk about benefits of MUN as well. So MUN teaches you several super important skills, such as public speaking, debating. You gain invaluable knowledge on diplomacy and international relations. You improve your critical thinking and ability to work with others. You also improve your leadership abilities, which are, I think, crucial. And you will be able to conduct a concise but very efficient research if you do MUN for a while. So, and besides that, you get to know people from all over the world. So I have been to 4 conferences at this point, and I made at least 2 friends on each of them who I am still in touch with. So I think MUN is like the best activity you can do in order to like build your network and make connections, which also have their obvious benefits. And besides your personal development, MUN is also highly appreciated by universities. So if you are doing MUN, let's say in your high school years or some of your high school years, and you have some good achievements within MUN, so like you win an award or something, if you build a profile in MUN, that tends to be appreciated by universities as well, because you show dedication, you show commitment, and you show that you have these great qualities, which I just talked about. So it is also, it looks really good in your CV as well. So I would like to conclude. I would like to state that MUN is like the best activity anyone interested in politics and diplomacy can pursue. I recommend it for people who are interested in politics and diplomacy, but I also recommend it for people who just want to become more confident in themselves and improve their public speaking abilities, because MUN really puts you out there, which can be scary at first, but then it just helps you a lot to improve. So personally, it was one of the best decisions I ever made to start doing MUN, because it is almost like part of my identity now, and I really love it. So I hope you will consider starting MUN. And if you're interested, please visit buzzdelegate.com, which has many more information about MUN in general. And it also lists MUN societies and clubs you can join. So if you are interested, then I recommend you to check what kind of MUN societies are working within your own country, and Buzz Delegate can help you with this. And also, if you have any questions about MUN or how to get involved or anything, then there is also my email address, so you can contact me as well if you would like to. So are there any questions?
If there isn't, but I'm still waiting.
I have
for
a
it.
question.
Oh, great.
Do you know about the virtual conferences about the MUN?
Yes, so yeah, thank you for the question. I forgot to add this, but obviously COVID had a major impact on MUN as well. So like there is currently in the world, the MUN conferences are done like in a hybrid version. So some of the conferences are online, but some of them are offline. If you would like to go to an offline conference, then I think you have the chance to do so because there are offline conferences organized. But online conferences became dominant over the past couple of years. So if you go to buzzdelegate.com, for example, there is a section where they talk about virtual MUN events, but you can find many virtual MUN conferences all over the world if you go there. And personally, so I think that offline MUN is better than online because you are physically there visiting a foreign country, interacting with people. But I've done 3 online conferences, and it was still a good experience. So if that would scare you, then I would say don't, because it's still a great experience.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions? You can write it to the chat or say it if you want. I think until we're waiting for the questions, I would have a few for you. And first of all, thank you for this amazing introduction to MUN. And like, what was your so what was the greatest skill, or what was the best thing you have developed during your time you spent in MUN?
Oh, wow. Okay. So actually, so I think the ability to balance, so now I can balance listening to others and taking everyone else's ideas into consideration, while overall still standing up for myself and pushing for the things that I want within MUN. So like, it helps you cooperate with others while still standing out for your interests, which I find really invaluable.
I see. Another question, Abdin, that is participating in one of the MUN conferences for free, both online and offline?
Yeah, that's again a great question. It's a really practical one. Unfortunately, usually not. So there are scholarships which some conferences offer, some others are not. So if financing a conference would be a problem for you, then there are a scholarship available. But offline conferences, it really depends on where do you go. So for example, if you live in Europe and you would go to the United States, then it's a really expensive conference. But to a foreign country, it is not that expensive. So I would say that generally offline conferences are a bit more expensive, but online conferences also have a cost, but it is from my personal experience, it's not much. So online conferences are not free either, but I think it's relatively easy to go to an online conference.
Oh, thank you. Actually, if you guys are interested about MUN in the further, we can start a club in Athena in this topic, and you can try yourself out and learn more about it. Just write to our Discord server and DM me or write me privately about it. So Tamara, another question: that what is your favorite thing about MUN?
Well, I'm a bit nerd for the real UN, so for me it is that it is modeling the how the real UN is working, and actually I would like to work in the real UN as an adult. So for me it's just a great opportunity to try it before I go for it.
I see. Okay. I wanted to ask a question, but I forgot. Give me a minute. So what is your plans for the future with MUN, and what advice would you give to the students who would like to start this?
Okay, so personally, I would like to continue MUN in college as well. So once I get to college, because MUN is divided into like two branches. There is high school MUN and there is college MUN, and obviously you can do one and then not do the other one, but I would like to continue it. And also I would like to run for president within my own MUN society. So that's my personal plan for MUN in the future. And for other people who are doing or who want to do MUN in high school, I would suggest you to go to as many conferences as possible, to attend as many sessions as possible. And sometimes it's hard to put yourself out there, but it's really worth it in the end. And if you like it during high school, then I think continuing it in college is great as well. So
thank you.
And is there another question?
Yes. So there is an MUN virtual conference that will be held soon. I got an email that I should pay $65 to book my seat. So basically, is it true? Like if you pay it, then I book my seat and participate more or less.
Okay, so I don't know which MUN conference is this. So if you would like to, I can have a look at it. I don't know which event is this, but generally, yes, so you book your seat. It means that you are officially registered as a participant, and then you will probably receive a bunch of emails about your allocation and you receiving a country and your committee and etc. And a couple of weeks before the conference, you will receive like your official platforms, so like Zoom and I don't know, Slack and stuff like that. And then before the conference, you will receive a Zoom link, and then you will go to the conference and participate. So yes, you pay the fee. Make sure to check out which conference is this, is it reliable and everything. But generally, yes, you have to send in. You will have to send in probably like liability forms and stuff like that. But if you are registered, then you will receive every information you need in email during the upcoming months before the conference.
I see. Thank you. So if there isn't any other question, I would say that thank you for the presentation. It was really exciting and amazing. Really, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for Mira for organizing the whole event. It's really great. So yeah, have fun in the rest of it. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.